Trump and the White House are making some massive power moves for immediate release. This was just put out there yesterday between the United States and China because the United States has not been bringing in enough revenue to cover the US federal spending right here. So the federal budget deficit has been over $2 trillion. And as you guys can see, the tax revenue is $5 trillion, whereas the federal spending is $7 trillion, leaving a $2 trillion gap that needs to be made up. And the Department of Government Efficiency has only uncovered $400 billion. So this is why Trump has been talking a lot about tariffs to bring more money in to cover this deficit, ultimately causing a trade war. So Trump said he's not looking to hurt China. He just wanted to make things fair with these tariffs. And as you guys already know, May 8th, he inked a deal with the United Kingdom saying this.
This morning, I'm thrilled to announce that we have reached a breakthrough trade deal with the United Kingdom. It is a very special day because it's Victory Day, World War II, May 8th. This is incredible that that day is the same day that we signed a tremendous trade deal for both countries. With this deal, the UK joins the United States in affirming that reciprocity and fairness is an essential and vital principle of international trade between our two countries will soon be stronger than ever before.
With this president, this prime minister, we've managed to achieve what many people have tried to achieve for many years. It feels completely historic.
You've done what you said you would do. You said to the prime minister that you would do a good trade deal with the United Kingdom, that you would do it at pace, and that we would be first. And you have delivered that. You've been true to your word. So thank you very much.
And so that was the first of many trade deals that are being inked right now, which is causing a revival in the crypto market because it leads to less uncertainty and more clarity that they're working out deals. So first it was shock, then it's negotiation, now it's finalization. For example, look at what Trump just signed, this executive order enabling the US Treasury to modernize its payment system to reduce fraud, waste, and abuse.
Executive order for your attention relating actually to government payments. Historically, checks issued by the Treasury are, I believe, 14 times more likely to become the subject of fraud than electronic transfer payments. This is an executive order that's going to push the Treasury Department to modernize its payment system to ensure that where possible they're using electronic methods of payment as opposed to paper checks in order to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse in the government, which is obviously an endeavor that we've been pursuing in numerous aspects of government under your leadership.
It's basically modernization of equipment and methods, and it's something that really I think he's going to be a great Secretary of the Treasury wanted, Scott, and so we're doing this, and we have other modernization programs going on. We could let somebody else, whoever's next, whoever that may be, do it, but it's something that should have been done 25, 30 years ago.
And today, the SEC Crypto Task Force is hosting a roundtable on tokenization right now while I'm recording this video with panelists from BlackRock, Fidelity, NASDAQ, and others. And the new SEC Chair Paul Adkins is going to deliver a keynote on asset tokenization. And unlike Gary Gensler, who was negative about crypto, listen to what this guy is now saying.
A key priority of my chairmanship will be to develop a rational regulatory framework for crypto asset markets that establishes clear rules of the road for issuance, custody, and trading of crypto assets while continuing to discourage bad actors from violating the law. Clear rules of the road are necessary for investor protection against fraud, not the least to help them identify scams that do not comport with the law.
So whereas Gary Gensler didn't want to have clear rules to the road, wanted to confuse everybody, wanted to attack crypto companies like Ripple, Paul Adkins is the exact opposite. And so this is why in my video 3 days ago, I talked about XRP getting ready for the next breakout on the chart. And here's what I said. We have seen a bullish cross below 20 on the top of the screen for the stochastic RSI. And now the K line's at 28, the D line's at 13. So we haven't confirmed this bullish cross back above 20, but this is actually a good sign that XRP is actually relatively close to a breakout of this descending resistance. Now, whether we break through this descending resistance at about $2.50 or get rejected from it, we will see, but the next zone of resistance is about $3 for XRP. So similar to what happened right here by the 23rd of August on this breakout for XRP, and then XRP came back down and just rid along this descending resistance as support all the way until the end of September, bounced off of it, and then just worked its way through this range before exploding to the upside. I think the next major zone that we need to watch for XRP is $3. So I do think there will be an explosion for XRP because the stochastic RSI has reset back down below 20. We've transitioned from yellow to light green. but I do think it's going to take some time before XRP passes its previous high. And right after I put that video out, XRP broke out, and it is facing a little resistance at the $2.60, $2.50 region, which is this descending resistance right here. So on the stochastic RSI on the daily, we saw that bullish cross get confirmed, and now the K line, the D line are at 90 and 85. So if Bitcoin continues to consolidate, I would expect XRP to consolidate, potentially come back down a little bit before breaking this descending resistance and eventually testing the $3 level. So we're going to be watching key indicators like the stochastic RSI, the relative strength index, the MACD, because the best time to enter into projects like XRP, XLM, that I'll talk about in a little bit on the charts, or even Bitcoin, is when we are in oversold conditions. So congratulations for those of you guys that watched that video that accumulate XRP at $2.12. You should be up about 20% on your position if you opened any longs or if you bought spot. Now we just did witness a bearish cross above 80. It's not confirmed because we haven't passed below 80. And just because, let's say for example, at the top of the screen, we experienced a bearish cross up here, it doesn't mean the stochastic RSI is going to come down right away. It just means we are a little overheated and we could cool off sideways and just consolidate for a little bit, ranging before the next move higher while the stochastic RSI stays above 80. That's definitely possible. Because look right here, when we experienced a bearish cross on the 14th of April above 80, that was after the price broke out from $1.60 upwards of $2.23, and you saw XRP consolidate for a little bit and just range above 80 before the next breakout took place to where we are right now. But if you watch the stochastic RSI and you waited for the stochastic RSI to reset down below 20, you would have got a better entry point looking for confirmation on this indicator rather than just watching the price chart. So we could see XRP consolidate for a little bit and break out while the stochastic RSI stays above 80. Nobody knows exactly what the price chart will look like, but we're going to watch the stochastic RSI. I'm going to wait for it to reset back down below 20, and we'll see where the price chart is at that time. For example, if we just consolidate in range where we're at right now below this descending resistance and come back down a little bit further, and the stochastic RSI resets, well, that would present a better buying opportunity for XRP before the next major move to $3 takes place. And the reality of the situation is this: it doesn't take a lot of money to move XRP's price compared to the market cap, because if you look at this right here, that compares the XRP last trade price by exchange and the aggregated CVD in the millions of dollars. Well, for the people who've ever wondered how much money it takes to cause a $16.6 billion increase in XRP's market cap that just took place, well, the aggregated CVD says 61 million US dollars. That's the net market buying pressure we saw over the last 13 hours. So yes, just $61 million of buy pressure caused a $16.6 billion increase in market cap. So this is why market cap does not matter as much, because, for example, if somebody bought XRP at 50 cents and $50 or $60 million comes in at roughly $2.12, and the people who bought at 50 cents haven't sold yet, well, their position size is larger, which then affects the market cap. So as more money comes in and it boosts the value of existing holders' portfolios, if they don't sell, the higher price multiplies across all circulating XRP, significantly increasing the market cap. Especially when holders don't sell their coins. This is why we see these massive green candles to the upside. For example, right here, you guys saw what happened from the 27th of November to the 2nd of December. In just a few days, XRP went from like $1.35 to $2.90. The market cap jumped from $77 billion to $165 billion. That doesn't mean that $90 billion came in buy volume. It was significantly less than that. Because let's just say $50 million or $100 million comes in within here. Well, all the people who bought down here, their portfolio increases as well too, which further affects the market cap. So XRP's true value is not based on the market cap. It's based on the actual utility and the problem that they're solving for cross-border liquidity.
But our first question is around, really what's going to be driving value to XRP, particularly kind of around the cross-border and sort of more like enterprise payments and financial use cases.
Yeah, so you guys can all see the question on the screen. I think the big thing that's gonna keep XRP like in its central role is its privilege placed on the XRP ledger. XRP is the only token that you can pay transaction fees in. It's the only token that every account can receive. The payment engine during pathfinding always looks for XRP liquidity first, and XRP is auto-bridged through the order book, so XRP liquidity is sort of preferentially taken over to other types of liquidity just from order crossing. So XRP is always going to have a special place as a sort of liquidity tool on the XRP ledger.